Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. How are you doing? My name is Abisola. I'm about food and lifestyle from Lagos, Nigeria. If you're new here, kindly click on the subscribe button and turn on the bell notification so you get notified. Welcome to the family for my new subscribers. So, to my OGs, like the returning subscribers, I'm so grateful to have you guys. Thank you for always watching my video, for liking, for leaving a comment, sharing. I'm so grateful. Thank you very much. So you guys can tell that this video is about the ancient city of Ibadan town in Oyo State, Nigeria. So if you are thinking of relocating, this video is for you. Like, I mean relocating from maybe cities like Lagos State, Abuja, or Port Harcourt, or any other city in Nigeria, then this video is for you to know like the advantages, pro and cons of staying in Ibadan city, what you get to enjoy, what you might not really like about the city generally. And Ibadan, like, I don't know, I call Ibadan the city of brown roasted roof. After reading Abimbola Adelakon's novel with the same title, Under the Brown Roasted Roof. I think I read that novel when I was in secondary school, but hey, come on, that's not about the video, Sha. So we're going to be talking about the pros and cons of staying in Ibadan city, what you get to enjoy, what you may not really enjoy in Ibadan city. But that's what this video is about. And if you are interested in this video, in fact, I'm sure you're interested in this video, that's why you clicked on this video in the first place. So guys, let's just jump straight into the video. So one thing is that this video is actually based on my own personal experience of having stayed in Ibadan during my service here, and a couple of years after my service here, I stayed in Ibadan, and I kind of things are kind of like things I like about Ibadan and things I don't like about Ibadan. So it's not really a general kind of perspective, but these are things I notice, and it's really kind of peculiar to a few other people, which is what I'm going to be sharing with you in this video. Not necessarily everybody have to have the same experience about Ibadan city. That is just basically my own experience, and so that's like a disclaimer. So if I won't say this is something that I don't like, somebody will not come and say, no, how will you say you don't like this thing? How will you say this is one thing that is a disadvantage? Right, it's an advantage to you. And I won't say this is an advantage to me and you feel like it's a disadvantage on your own part. So this is just like a disclaimer from this video. So the first advantage of staying in Ibadan is that Ibadan is cheap. I'm not going to use the word very, very cheap, because obviously Ibadan is not really very, 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 very cheap. Like most people will make it seem like, because they feel like Ibadan is cheap. Yeah, Ibadan is cheap, but not very, 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 very cheap. I don't know, I'm dragging emphasis on very, very, but Ibadan is not really that as cheap as most people will tell you it is. Yeah, it is cheaper than compared to what you have in Lagos, cheaper than that of Port Harcourt and Abuja, but trust me, it's not really that cheap. But the cost of living is actually quite affordable than what you have in other states. It's not as expensive as what you have in other states. For instance, in Lagos on the island, which is like one of the good areas you can stay in Lagos is island. So in Ibadan, one of the good areas you can stay in Ibadan also is like Oliole Estate or Bodija, and these estates, the amount to be getting a 2-bedroom flat in Lagos on the island, you can get it for twice as less in Ibadan. So that's why I said it's quite cheaper compared to what you have in Lagos, but that doesn't mean it's not expensive also, because obviously some people can't even afford these prices also, but it's still kind of cheaper than what you get in some areas of Lagos. So that's the first thing. It is cheaper to stay in, and cost of living is cheaper and affordable. I won't say affordable because it might be affordable for, might not be affordable to others, to some. So I think it is just okay. It's okay. The cost of living is quite cheaper compared to what you have in Lagos, but that doesn't mean it's less expensive. Yeah, it's less expensive, but it doesn't mean it's affordable for all. Yeah. So let's put it that way. So the next thing is Ibadan people are really very, very accommodating. Like, they accommodate you, they like you, they respect you. Not really respect, but they try and blend you in. If they realize that you're a stranger here or this is your first time, they will accept you, teach you everything, the basic things you need to know about places you need to go to and all that stuff, good stuff, which might not really happen in Lagos because everybody's like, mind your business, don't talk to me, don't do this. But in Ibadan, you find out that your neighbors are willing to share their ideas, where you can get cheaper food, where you can get cheaper this, where you can get cheaper that. Unlike Lagos, especially in Ireland, when it's like you and yourself, stay on your own. But in Ibadan, it's not really like that. They're actually very accommodating. Okay, the third thing I really like about Ibadan is that you get to enjoy a lot of amala, abula, agbegiri, and that's what thing. So in case you don't know what amala is, I'll leave a picture of amala and gbegiri or a video of it on the screen. So you let me know what you think. If you don't, amala is not really my favorite thing to eat, but I like amala, but it's not really my favorite thing to eat. I don't really like it that much. But the only thing that attracts me to eating amala, it's definitely the assorted that comes with it and the gbegiri soup. Any other thing outside about amala, I don't really like it. But if you are giving me a whole amala, if you are giving me amala with gbegiri, ewedu, assorted, trust me, I am in for it. I am definitely in for the food. But so I think get to, but one of the things you get to enjoy in Ibadan is Malang bakery and already it's kind of very surplus to the bad. Only like when I say surplus, it's few. No, but you get to meet their restaurants, their canteens, their bookers where they sell this thing, and they're quite affordable, very very affordable. Because I remember when I was serving in Ibadan Secretariat Bush. If you don't know Bush and you're a copper working in the state secretariat or you're a staff and you work in the state secretariat, you don't know Bush, I don't know what you're doing in that secretariat. So in Bush, a wrap of amala was like 15 naira. And I can only take two. That's to tell you how filling it is. It's very filling. So I take just two, and amala, it's the abla, the soup, the meat. Tell me, I don't know how you see those things and even get excited to eat. So this is one of the reasons why I actually like Ibadan. And I think even if you're Igbo or you're coming from another tribe, maybe also, and you stay in Ibadan, there's no way you tell me you don't like amala. I don't know. I've not seen anybody that like that. So you might not like amala, but see, the soup, the assorted, would drag you into wanting to eat that food. I don't know, it's just so like there's also one thing about amala abula. It's in Lagos. I don't really find canteens that sell amala as great as Ibadan people do. Yeah, so that's a plus for Ibadan, a minus for Lagos. So the other one is Ibadan is less congested, because it's not really one of the cities like Port Harcourt, Abuja, and Lagos, specifically Lagos. So it's not really as congested as Lagos State, and it's closer to Lagos State, but it's not as congested as this state. So it makes it easy for you to breathe in fresh air and everything. You breathe in fresh air, you get to, breathe in fresh air. It's a good thing. Your houses are not choked up like we have it in some parts of Lagos State. The houses are not really that choked up. Excuse me. You get to enjoy movement of, and things and your room is not as small as you expect it to be in Lagos, because Lagos, like a room is small. When Ibadan, their rooms are big, they are wide compared to what you have in Lagos. So that's a plus for Ibadan people. That's like one of the advantages of staying in Ibadan, which I kind of enjoy. So one of the reasons why I like Ibadan is that things are really, really fresh in Ibadan. Their foodstuffs, their groceries are fresh, their fruits and vegetables, they're actually very, very fresh. You get them fresh from where you're buying them. Not like 100% fresh, but they are still very fresh. You can imagine you buying something directly from the farmer that harvested these things. The farmer brings them to the market, then you get to buy it. So that makes it less expensive, and that makes it fresh. Compared to Lagos, where you'll be buying from at least the fifth or third distributor, which is like maybe because mostly in Lagos, most of the food items in Lagos comes from the north or other parts of the country. So when your food gets to Lagos, you have to stay with the wholesaler for a period of time. Maybe the following day, then the wholesaler then distributes again to the retailer, before the retailer then brings to the market, before it then gets to you, the consumer. But in Ibadan, it doesn't really happen in most part of the places, because sometimes you can get it fresh directly from the farmer themselves, because the farmer comes to the market, they sell their wares, so you just buy from them directly, and doesn't have to pass through all these long channels of distribution. It goes directly to you, and at that moment your food is still very, very fresh, which I think is a plus for the people of Ibadan. So guys, the next one is going to be on the transportation, which is like an advantage on its own, like the cost of transportation, less traffic, and all that. So in Ibadan, you get to enjoy less traffic in Ibadan. I'm not saying there's no traffic in Ibadan. In fact, there's traffic. Ibadan competes with Lagos when it comes to festive period, because in the festive period, Ibadan usually experience a kind of crazy traffic, which I think Lagos also has to do with. But I think it's not really as bad as that Lagos, or when it comes to the festive period. But it's usually crazy with traffic during the festive period, especially December, New Year period. It's crazy. So you get to, those are the kind of days I know that traffic in Ibadan is usually very crazy. So it's like, I don't know, they're just competing with Lagos a lot these days. Ibadan is really competing with Lagos these days. So that's traffic for you in Ibadan. It's not really as hectic as it is in Lagos, but there is still traffic. But you can actually say, okay, I'm leaving for the office by 9 o'clock, and I have to get to the office by 9. I can leave my house as at 7, 8:30 or 8:40, and still make it to the office within 30 minutes, depending on your location. But in Lagos, you might not really want to try that, because traffic in Lagos is really unpredictable. But in Ibadan, it's not really that much. Though there might be traffic, but the traffic is still moving traffic compared to what you have in most parts of Lagos. That there's traffic, but the traffic don't really move that much. But in Ibadan, it doesn't really happen like that. But it happens once in a while, maybe during the festive period. That great luck. So, but it's not as crazy as we have it in Lagos. Then the transportation in Ibadan is actually cheap. Yeah, cheap. When I say cheap, it is cheap, but at the same time, it is not cheap. But people tend to believe it is cheap, and I don't blame them. For me, I don't really see it as something really, really cheap like that, because it's cheaper than what we have in Lagos. But it's unrealistic for cab drivers to say, okay, because there's traffic somewhere, or because it rained, and it's not as if the rain is going to spoil anything in their car. Obviously, the road is not that bad. You are driving on the Lagos-Ibadan expressway, then you're telling me that because it is raining, then you're going to increase the fare by 50%. It doesn't make sense. But on some days, the ride is really okay. And some days, it's like just go the Lagos way and just increase price. And I think that's our attribute that, in fact, that most of them now relate to it. Lagosians, maybe because Lagosians are moving, Lagosians are giving them the it's that white. You can increase your price fare because of training. So Lagosians, people need to stop. People need to stop. So let's move to the disadvantages of staying in Ibadan. So the first one is that Ibadan people can be really, really, really saucy. Like, they can insult you, especially the Mikra drivers. If you don't know what is Mikra is their cab in Ibadan. It sells a picture of what they call Mikra in Ibadan. See, but the people can be really, 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 really insulting. Like, they can insult your life. Trust me, Lagos conductors and drivers are learning work beside the Ibadan people when it comes to insults. And with their tonation, where they will insult you. So, Ibadan people are really, really, really saucy. Their micro drivers especially, they can insult you. And even their market women, when you're in the market and you price something, typically in Lagos Island, if you price something to the market, the trader is saying, no, I can't sell this for you. Ibadan people be like, let me take in Juma, let me throw it at you. I'll be like, Mama, it's not that hard now. I'm only pricing. If it's not okay, you will let me know it's not okay with the price. You're not okay with the price. Instead of you saying you want to throw this thing at me, you start telling me your parent at home. But the people are really saucy. That's one thing about them. Like I said, their micro driver takes it all, tops it all. Like their micro driver tops it all when it comes to insults. Does not really have a lot of hangout spots. They don't have hangout spots. They do, but not really that much. If you, like a few years back, if you go to Ibadan and you're holding a ShopRite nylon, the way they look at ShopRite is like they've seen one ShopRite nylon is like ordinary ShopRite nylon or ShopRite bag. They look at it as if you've just come from London, you've just come from the abroad. They really cherish that nylon. The way they sew. I don't want to talk about my experience with one mother said. I don't want to talk about that experience, so let's just leave it like that. But Ibadan people, they don't really have much recreational places in Ibadan. There's not really much hangout spots in Ibadan, right? But it is really changing now because you now have the likes of Tambana. You have Tambana, you have Elbow Room, then you have Esmo, then you have Bon Hotel. These are Bon. They are not places, but majorly they're picking up, but you can't find beach in Ibadan. You can't find a beach in Ibadan. That is it. Lagos is Lagos. Lagos, we always stop that. You can find in Ibadan is Amala Sport, which I already said, which is like an advantage of staying in Ibadan. There's little recreational active centers in Ibadan. There are little hangout spots in Ibadan, but there are a few, but not as much as you find it in Lagos State and Abuja. But they are picking up, and I believe they'll get there. But see, I feel like there's no matter what they try, they can't be up to Lagos, because Lagosians are always coming up with new ideas. So that's just it. One thing you should bear in mind is that if you're relocating to Ibadan as a salary earner, you might not really earn as much as you earn in Lagos State, because obviously Lagos is a city for economic boost, or how do I even put it? So you might not really earn as much as you earn in Ibadan. Even though it's the same work, you might not really earn as much as you do in Lagos, because obviously cost of living is cheaper in Ibadan. So most employers are not willing to pay as much as they will pay to their branches or companies in Lagos, but they'll be willing to pay, because obviously cost of living is cheaper. What you'll be getting as an accommodation will not be as expensive as what Lagosians are getting, and the food too. So tell me, that's just the only thing, one of the disadvantages of if you decide to stay in Ibadan. But I think it will still cover up for it, because obviously you're not paying much on accommodation, much on rent, and even NEPA bill is not as high as it is in Lagos. Next one is basically my own personal experience, and I realized it's peculiar to a few other people I asked about from, because the thing is, the water in Ibadan is actually terrible. They don't have good water system. It happens mostly during the dry season, like January till about April, May. Like, the water is really terrible. And during those periods, I'm always suffering from severe acne. I'll put a picture on the screen. I'm always suffering from it. And it's because I felt maybe I wasn't doing something right, or I changed cream, or I changed this. I don't know what was going on with my skin there. Now until I realized that, okay, it's probably the water. Then a friend was like, oh, she suffers from it, that I should try and include Dettol in my water, Dettol or any other disinfectant in my bath water, so that's going to help subside the harshness of the water. So, and I think what happened with water is basically because when it comes to dry season, it's so hard for the pumping machine to pump water, because this thing is always dry. So it's so hard for the pumping machine to pump water directly to the tank. So when it does that, so because of the force it uses in pumping the water, that helped me. So if you know you have a sensitive skin and you're thinking of relocating to Ibadan, then I would advise that you include disinfectant in your bath water, so you don't come up with acne and all that. Although the Dettol might not really clear it off properly, but at least it's going to control it. The next and final disadvantage, not really a disadvantage, like really, but it's more like something I just noticed, just like a bonus point, which is that Ibadan housing lacks numbering. It lacks proper numbering. In Ibadan, they don't really number their house in correct way, and even when you find those ones that they number, so it's only in Bodija and Oluyole, the biggest states, you can find those kind of proper numbering. But when you go to some other parts of Ibadan, you see that they don't number it, or they don't number it in a way that it does confuse you more. Or it's like, I don't even understand how to even describe the numbering system. Some don't even have a proper numbering system. The way they build their houses is like, it's even complicated. Like, I don't know. Maybe they don't have proper this thing there. So that's one thing I don't really like about it. If you have to go to somewhere, if it's somewhere that is not properly numbered, you have to tell the person to pick you at the junction. If not, those people you ask a random person on the road, I'm going to number something, look at it like, what they use to describe houses, like when you get to the pink house, you go to the next one, which is like a brown house, you see a corner there, you pass the corner. That is how a lot of people describe a house, because the numbering system is really poor. Not on all parts of Ibadan, but the majority of Ibadan. Ibadan is a big city. It's like the biggest city in West Africa. So guys, we've come to the end of this video, and I hope by now you've already subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, please kindly do that now. It's free. Like, it's a gift. Just give it to me as a gift by just subscribing to the channel. Leave a comment, like this video, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you.